train coming down from the north, heading toward London, and I had a window seat. And I looked out the window. It was about probably 6:30 in the morning, so it was daylight in the month of June. I looked out the window, and I looked at those fields, and I suddenly felt awestruck and full of the most incredible, wonderful emotion. And the words kept going through my head, "Oh, I'm home. I'm finally home." Now, you see, before that trip, I thought, it'll be interesting to go to England. And then we were going on to 2 or 3 other European countries. And I just thought, that's going to be interesting, but nothing particular about it. But when I saw that land down there, this huge feeling, and I had tears coming out of my eyes, like tears of joy. Well, I had no way to explain that to myself or to anybody else, but it all made sense many years later when I began to feel convinced that we really do have many, many lifetimes. Now, here's another thing. You talked about the longing
to
go home, and I'm so glad you mentioned that, because there are quite a number of people I've met and have done regressions with who've had a very strong sense of longing to go home, but for them, longing to go home means out there in space. And these people say, none of these people know each other, different people I've met along the way, but they each have said, ever since I can remember, I've wanted to go outside in the daytime or the nighttime, and I look up in the sky, and I think, that's where I'm from. My home is out there. And even many people feel my real family, my true family, is out there. And of course, if they say that to their actual Earth family they're living with, growing up, born to,
I'm sure it does not taken well.
Yeah, parents are sort of hurt, but we're your parents. But the child says, well, yes, I know, I love you, and I'm appreciative of being with you, but my real family is out there. So when we've regressed to that sort of thing, invariably it has come up that the person had previous incarnations on one of those other planets as another type of being, and then eventually came here, incarnated as a human being instead of as one of those other beings, an extraterrestrial being. And so that's very rich material, what their life was like then and what kind of being they are. And you see, so many of these people who come from out there, from previous lifetimes, they're a different kind of being, we would call extraterrestrial, they have volunteered or agreed with their own fellow beings to come here and live some lifetimes on Earth and to be visited by those beings.
So you think that this is contractual in the Akashic Records? Is that kind of what you're
Yes,
saying? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but is that what you mean?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, you're asking great questions. Good for you.
You didn't ask me my age. I have to tell you a quick thing, and then I want you to finish. Years ago, I was representing this scientist who had a solution to take patients off kidney dialysis, and he put me on the phone with one of the funders. First thing the guy said to me is, "How old are you?" Well, I was very offended and all that, so I decided instead of being snippy, I would give him a funny answer, and I said, "Sir, would you like my earth age or my soul age?"
Uh-huh.
And I knew he'd say my earth age. And I said, "Sir, I'm 900 years old, but for you, I'm 36 or whatever I was at the time."
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I thought you'd like that.
Oh, that's cute. That was worth it.
But so when people are visited by other beings, not from Earth, this is contracted in the Akashic Records, like everything else.
Yes, and a way that
Wow.
we touch with that sometimes in regression, when a person wonders, why me? Why am I having these contacts? Why isn't my brother having them or anybody else I know? And of course they'd wonder that. My goodness, who wouldn't? So if they seriously want to know that, will do a regression back to the source of their having these contacts with these other beings. And there are two things that typically come up, well, with different people. One of them that comes up very frequently is that they have been that type of being in a previous life, and with full cooperation, full knowing, they've chosen to incarnate as a human being on Earth so that that species of beings can understand Earth life and Earth people. So it's been contracted by the soul of the person having been incarnated as one of those other types of beings on a different planet. So that's one scenario that comes up. And another one that frequently comes up is that we go back to what certainly seems to be the person's soul state of being, S-O-U-L,
yes,
state of being, and where they're not in a body, but they're very conscious, and they have other non-embodied beings, spirit beings, around them, and they're discussing the lifetime that this person is about to be incarnated into. And they're looking at where the person's going to be and which kind of, culture, race, etc., what kind of economic situations, what kind of parents, family opportunities, or lack of opportunities, etc., and some of the main themes that they're going to be working on in this lifetime they're about to go into. And into that session come some other beings, extraterrestrial beings, who are saying, basically, we're aware that you're going to be going into another lifetime now. And when you're in that lifetime, would you agree, along with all the other things you're going to be doing, would you agree to have us visit you and study you and learn about you, maybe even help you, maybe even teach you some things that you wouldn't learn on Earth? And this soul about to incarnate says, yes, okay, I'll do that. So therefore the agreement is made. Now, an important thing is that when that person is born as a baby and goes being a little child and middle-aged child, teenager, adult, and so forth, that person usually doesn't remember what any of those soul agreements were about coming into this lifetime. So likewise, they don't remember having made any agreement with any extraterrestrial beings. But the extraterrestrial beings remember, and they've been given permission by the soul, so they carry out the agreement, and they come and do these visits and processes, whatever they are, and they see this as perfectly okay because it's been agreed to by the soul. So it actually helps these people who wonder, why am I having contact? Why am I picked on?
So it's not random.
No, it's not.
It's not just a little here and a little there or whatever. It's already in schedule almost.
Yes.
Okay.
The Akashic Records, and this is all part of the Akashic Records.
Sure.
So, yes, and I was giving a lecture to my graduate school 2 days ago to an honor society there. And I could just see the eyes. These were some were undergraduate, graduates, and even some faculty there. And their eyes were getting bigger and bigger, and they were looking very serious. And I said, now, it's important for you to know that if you, addressing everybody there, about 40, 45 people, if any of you have not had experiences with extraterrestrial encounters, you probably never will, because this, as far as I can see, does not seem to be random. In other words, you're not just an innocent person walking down the street someday or driving home or sleeping in your bed, and this happens to you, that these beings come to you. It wouldn't happen to you, as far as I know, unless there's already been history here. So you already have some previous connection of some sort with those beings. And suddenly I could see the faces relaxing a little.